Hello and welcome back to String Zero. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after Crown and Ravi had a much more extensive conversation about what happened. Why Ravi is feeling that emptiness inside of him, which is because the Blind One took Ravayan, and that happened in order to save Ravi. And I also kind of forgot to mention about the whole dad angle, which is my theory that perhaps the dad had this already happen to him, and the reason why Storytime did not work on the dad is because he no longer has his name. So either the Blind One already owns the dad, or the dad was able to escape the Blind One by doing what essentially these guys did, which was to abandon his Storytime name when he was hooked by the Blind One. So yeah, that was a thing that I was supposed to mention. Another thing is that Crown and Aladamaric used to be probably a thing, and I say probably used to be a thing because it kind of seems that they were very, very, very close, and that after something happened, that it was either Crown's fault or somebody else's fault, but Crown was involved. Their relationship became very strained. They did kind of explain, or no, Crown did kind of explain the connection between the both of them, but based on the memories that Ravi is seeing and the way that he is feeling whenever he's next to Damarig, it kind of seems like there was a lot more going on than what Crown is initially wanting to talk about. What else? Again, I don't remember if this is the first time that we're meeting them, but we saw the Wanderer speaking to Urali. And they were talking about, I'm fairly certain that they're talking about Ravi, and that they can't tell him something that's happening, which is part of like the grand design, which we don't know what that is yet. And that he's probably gonna die because of it or something. I don't know. That's what I was getting from what they were talking about. And that Urali is not into it. And also that she is apparently a fugitive, and somebody called the Hierophant is gonna come and try to get her. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we're about to finish off this portion of the update, and we're about to meet with Kavir again. Yeah, we haven't seen him for what feels like years. Whether or not this is a good reunion or a bad reunion, we don't actually know, because Ravi is not too happy with Kavir at the moment. And we're gonna see a little bit more about why. And also, depending on what YouTube lets me get away with, you will either see the censored scene at the end, or that part will be cut out. So yeah. Anyways, so without further ado, let us finish out. I was about to call it String Zero. Well, the update, not the story. Kavir lifts me and spins me as soon as we arrive at Mother's Rain. It's like being pulled up from a swampy mire and shaken clean. You did it! He had been waiting outside beneath the club's broad sign of dripping electric blue, and he glows in the glare of it. I tug on his face fur. You doubted me? It's easy to say, despite everything. His presence does that to me. It makes me feel... Put him down, dumbass. He's already a kid. We don't need people thinking that he's a literal child. Lighter. I kick my legs playfully and receive a nasty look. Don't be a shit. Kavir sighs at him, still holding me up. Oh, calm down. I'm not that much older. Exactly. Kavir sets me down, crouching slightly to stick out his tongue from over my shoulder. Thick fingers frame my face. Come on, this is a mug for the celebrity buzz sheets, all handsome beard and sexy angles. No one's confusing this man for a child. I'm gonna vomit. I'm not. Go on. Kavir grins next to my cheek, baring his tusky fangs like he always does when forcing a smile too big for his face. Hee hee hee. Don't make me regret my decision more than I already do. His eyes turn to me, narrow, pulled me in with so much meaning that I can't help but feel humbled by his intensity. My earlier concerns haven't changed. A monolithic understatement. So I exhale, tapping the snow tiger's nose. Later, your place? A whisper. He winks. Sure, got a gift for you there. A brief press of his fuzzy cheek to mine, and then he stands to his full, considerable height. Suddenly, I feel extremely small. You don't gotta be all business all the time, Crown buddy. You know I always put the work first. Do I? He pushes past us and steps into the club. Well, now that's just unkind. Come on, handsome. You'll be in a better mood after he starts drinking. I'm not so sure about that. Mother's reign is different from the respite. There is no fanfare to it beyond the typical signage. No crystal, no gold. Off some nameless alley deep in the labyrinth of Gitawan's mega buildings and skywalks, it's that shiny speck of dust settled in a dirty corner. Though Gitawan's been a relatively stable place since the Blood Gold pushed out the other gangs, the reign hasn't survived this long through complacency. To that end, a long hallway leads to a pair of armed bouncers, a murder tunnel lined with discreet surveillance and munitions camouflaged by the holographic portrait panelings, the wall. Untold faces from Legends to the Lost, a jazz runner memorial of all those who lived and died with the same understanding of this hallway. There is no weapons check in real life. Evening, Ella. He nods to one of the bouncers, a burly aged Darwolf woman with mismatched pieces of jazzed out ride armor and a CWS military carbine. Evening, singer boy. Nightlight. Liaison in a few minutes. Saved you the usual booth. Who's a squirt? Hey. He's with us. Need a name? Crown shrugs, turning to me. No point. A thick arm elbows my shoulder. You sure? Thought you were tossing that one. Fresh start and all. Haven't had time to think about it. Besides, the name's got a decent rep. It works. No point, huh? Does sound familiar. She snaps her fingers and grins. Ah, yeah. The on-call repair guy, Mr. Pointy. Crown snorts loudly. Kavir covers his mouth. I've changed my mind. The rain is awash with churning bodies and fluid, marquee signage. Where the respite hinges on its reputation that all are welcome, what it means to say is, as long as you have the money. Here, Getawan's labor slogans splatter the walls, along with quotes from the Tech Punk Manifesto and chants of immigrant and minority pride. Corpos beware, workers unite. Drown them in the rain. Endure, endure, endure. Finally! He yells over the rhythmic and thumping synth. Like a boat through the surf, the bulk of him cuts through the crowd with Crown and I following in his wake. We flow through jazzed-out mercs and clubbers, their tech around more prosthetic cyberware than I've ever seen in one place, and definitely more guns. I can't quite place why none of it puts me on edge. Hey, I'll be at the bar. Not at the booth? It's quieter. Crown flicks a hand towards the stage. After Leah's done flashing her tits. Kavir two-finger salutes as Crown departs, and then tugs me to a more open area clear of bodies. I quickly realize that it's clear for a reason. There's far too many heads between me and the warm-up disc jockey on the illuminated stage. We can watch from here. You can watch. I can't see shit. Easy fix. He crouches down and gestures to his back. Again? No jumping this time, promise. I roll my eyes at him, but it's ruined by a stupid grin. Because as I place my hands on his firm thickness of his shoulders, I realize our voices are insulated by music and everyone's attention is on the stage. We're alone in the crowd. After everything that's happened, it's finally just the two of us again. If even for a moment. So I don't climb on immediately, instead I press myself on his back, fingers sliding through the fur and over the definition and density of muscle. Without his jacket, I can feel so much more of him. Smell him. No booze and he's already frisky. I feel his rumble through my chest, these words uttered just for me. He kneels properly and I clutch at his arm, unable to grasp the bulk of them fully. I instead squeeze my own around his middle. His hands find mine, fingers interlaced. A squeeze makes my bruise ache, but it's a good ache. Right now, Rumplin. The scent of mint lingers on him. Hush. He looks over his shoulder. His eyes are so bright. Bossy. He begins to stand, peeling me away. Inscrutable in that moment, his eyes dart between the bodies, ringing us around the wall. It could be caution or fear. But then his arms are around me, pulling me in. Before Crown sees. Fingers lifting my chin. Just a taste. And we kiss. The heat of him fills me so immediately, so completely. Even the emptiness of loss feels distant. Time and future collapse into the burning of our lungs. Until the demands of the air separate us, and words bubble up with my breath. Kavir, introducing the incomparable queen of Mother's Reign burlesque, the twofold goddess herself, Lia de Lios. The music fades along with our moment, and Kavir pulls back, finger to my lips. The lights darken. But he does not. Shh, Nightlight's the name here, don't forget. His spots and stripes are glowing. I feel the jazz surround us, an electric prickle against my skin. I never felt a jazz like this before. But Crown has. Oh, right, yeah. I wipe my mouth. He winks and crouches down, gesturing once again to his back. This time I clamber on, legs over shoulders, and he lifts me high over the crowd as he stands. My fingers tangle onto his hair, where even his stripy highlights glimmer faintly. I feel him like never before, my nerves alight with energy, his energy, the sensation of jazz dancing through his markings, through fingers and up my arms, connecting us. Is this what it's like to be a singer, to be Crown? The man's memories begin to open in answer. Hey, watch the hair or I'll make you fix it later. I smile, leaning down to press my lips against his ear. It's gonna get messier first. He squeezes my thigh. Good thing that I'm not ticklish. But still I take a breath. Because no, I think into the images filling my skull. No, leaving us alone. You don't have a place here. So I push his memories away. I'll hold you to that. But shh. Look. His hand wraps around mine. And I look. The stage itself is a straightforward affair. A raised platform, bordered with glow stripes and a projected backdrop of mist and grey clouds. From shadows behind the curtains, a cloaked figure in glass heels steps towards and pauses at its center. A swift spin and it turns to face away from the audience. The cloak billows and flies from her shoulders, briefly revealing a nude back before the stage flashes, holographic pixels covering her form. From ankles to neck, fur appears to transform into glittering heart-like gemstones, body bisected with diamonds on the left, black crystals on the right. She spins back around, glittering arms opening high and wide. Then takes 2 saucy steps forward and slams her hands together. Several holographic gems explode, showering the audience with shards of light. The stage is split by glowing snow and neon rain. Oh, it's the Twin Cities. Nulios and Senios, I get it. Damn, she's good. She's a cunt. He suddenly appears beside us. And Kavir releases my hand. Bitch stole my effects. As I recall, you laid it all out there and then dared her to do it better. Suddenly insecure? Who the fuck asked you? Kavir roars with laughter. I'm missing something. My hand is cold. I rub it. She's Crown's best friend. They go at each other like this all the time. He has friends? Crown makes a rude gesture. Kavir grins. I fake it. Suddenly vocals. There's no words, it's just a sheer exultation of joy. She begins to dance, superimposed by two other holographic figures, Cyan and Magenta. They move around and through her, offering the impression of some multi-limbed radiant goddess. Eventually they part, Cyan moving left, Magenta right, all three at first synchronized in movement. But the farther they stray, the more arrhythmic their dancing becomes, wilder and frenzied. The pair reach for and arc lightning at their mother, strategically rippling gems from her body so more fur is revealed, and she burns ever brighter, dousing walls and crowd both. As the music crescendos, the holograms sweep and spin back to her of their own volition, the three of them fusing into a glorious and glittering winged divinity. She then turns all of her many arms wide and inviting, breasts bare, areolas obscured by mixed cyan and magenta light. I tug on my snow tiger's ear. Her boobs are almost bigger than yours. His fingers discreetly stroke over mine. Almost. Gray skies then part behind her. The music ends. The club goes dark. I hear Crown's grunt in the silence. Melodrama. He's also the first to clap, and loudly. Moments later, the rain erupts in celebration. Lia Delois, everyone! Our touch separates as Kavir claps to. I slip my fingers from his hair. The private booth is shielded from the main floor by a translucent wall of hard light. Some controls on the table allow us to darken the barrier or dampen sound for added discretion. Crown fiddles with the Jazz Tech touch display, while Kavir sits and rests his arms over the back of the full leather cushions. I sit and lean against him. You two not even going to bother with discretion. Calm down, it's not like I'm in his lap. I've got a side for you if you want to snuggle in too, cranky. I enjoy a little brat taming. The jackstag snorts. Obviously. His eyes flick to me. Hey! Kavir looks away, idly scratching at his chin. Anyways, where's Ion? I'm sure Leah will be after she's done freshening up. Stupid of you to assume that he hasn't been eavesdropping since we walked in. A light flickers from the table's display. You make it sound like I'm some sleazy voyeur. Yikes, says the timely disembodied voice. Not you, Nightlight. He did this on the elevator down too. Okay, Pointy, don't make me dislike you. I've been known to hack into shower controls and turn the water cold for less. Can we please just all agree to go with NP? Crown and Kavir look at each other. Crown shrugs, Kavir grins stupidly. If you behave, Grumplin. I punch him in the side. Oi, felt that one. Foreplay later. Ion, you owe the kid a proper introduction. Yeah, hold on. The table lights flicker again and then projects a toony avatar. So, I'm sure that you've heard of me, but the name's Ion, veteran jazz runner and crazy good net runner. Neve's commentary comes to mind. I've heard things went poorly for your last team. The avatar quickly deflates. Oh, that was pretty terrible. But it didn't go south because of me. He's lying. The unwelcome voice fills a small corner of my consciousness, a little antlered storm cloud billowing in the shape of him, not far from the memories that I just pushed away. Crown's eyes remain on the avatar. Despite the hearsay, I'm inclined to believe you, or you wouldn't be here. I'm confused. We need him. Briefly his eyes flick to me. And I'll lie for you too before the night is done. The real world is messy. Remember that you wanted to be a part of it. I exhale slowly. Yeah. Thank you, Crown. Again, he regards the avatar. Don't disappoint us. Even I can hear the understated threat. Our darling Crown handles all the background checking. We all turn to take her in, though I seem to be the only one surprised at how she suddenly appeared. Maybe they're all stunned by her looks? Because wow. Though I can see the seams of high-grade cyberware on her arms, she exudes easy grace and glamour. Atypical for the common mercenary. I trust his judgment. Now scooch over, baby. She flicks a hand at Crown, who makes room for her. Your performance didn't suck. Tits look good. They better, considering how much I paid for them. She laughs, and it's an airy cluster of sound. But we can argue who's the better performer later. Crown pulls out his J-Sig. Can't say that I had to show off my tits. He puffs. What tits, honey? He smirks and exhales through his nose. She turns to me. Now, let's get a good look at you. An electronic flicker from her eyes and she stares me down, some kind of software process running through equipment that I can't see. Neural implant, probably. I'll say this once. Don't fuck with Leah. You that protective of her? He doesn't answer. External neural deck, modded jacket, a few other jazz tech bits and bobs in your pockets. Nothing internal. Interesting. What's your stage name, baby? She smiles. I swallow. NP. She nods, adjusting her weight to settle in and cross her legs. Good. Well, now that we're all together, let's get started. You may call me Leah, Lady Leah, when I'm acting as a rep for House Luma. Or if you want to get on my good side. She touches her lips and winks. Nelly pulled me in to be the brains of this little outfit. So from this moment forward, I'm the boss of you. Understood? I nod and then tilt my head, turning towards Kavir. Smirking. Nilly? He sticks out his tongue. You're not in charge? Guess I was right about all muscle, no brains. You never complain. But nah, I can run a topside business just fine, but jazz running needs finesse and contacts Leah's got that I don't. He lifts his hands. Good practice to stay in your lane. You gonna tell me something off-balancing about Kavir too? Why? Nothing worth saying that you don't already know. Figure it out. I frown. Nilly's lined up a big job for us, so the purpose of this little gathering is to clarify our roles. I've got setup and infiltration covered. Crown supplies information and high-level contacts, a little jazz if needed. Ion's our net runner. She looks at me. And you're going to be our on-site tech man. Ion's fully remote, so we'll need a pair of hands to handle hardware and act as support. I turn towards the avatar. Use some shy AI or something? If only. Bodies are a pain. My setup works best stationary, so I don't leave. True? True enough. I shrug. Whatever works. I'm also the muscle. He grins and flexes a mighty arm invitingly, an obvious excuse to show off. He wants you to feel it. Please feel it. I don't. But I'm tempted. I know what he wants. Calm down, Big Tig. He frowns and relaxes his arm. Aww. Aww, I need remote hands with synthetic nerves. With manicured nails, Leah taps the table twice and loudly. Everyone starts and looks back at her. She clears her throat. Neely's more than just muscle. He handles all the physicals, or what I would like to call the 3 C's. Clamoring, combat, and charm. You just made that up. She plucks the J-Sig from between his lips, puffs on it once, holds it between her fingers as she exhales slowly, and then smiles, staring him down. Maybe I did. Don't interrupt. The table is silent as he stares back. Everything okay over there? This performance is for you. Pay attention. She blinks slowly as her eyes slide towards me. Then snakes of smoke briefly veil her form. Everyone's breath seems stuck except hers, now coiling around her shoulders. I begin to understand what she's doing, projecting authority, and much more elegantly than Tararoff. At that. Finesse, indeed. This is important for Ravi to understand clearly. The 3 C's mean that Nilly goes wherever we need him to, fights whomever we need him to, and fucks whoever we need him to. Any questions? There's an edge to her voice and a sharpness to her gaze that unnerves me. It reminds me of Jiv. I wonder if she's just as seasoned a killer. I swallow. Nope. She smiles and then relaxes her arm, offering back the J-Sig. Crown takes it, but doesn't put it back between his lips. Leah stares at me from her seat. Are you being honest with me, Ravi? Well, I guess not. Kavir's grip on my thigh tightens. I feel Crown staring at me. The gravity of the room increases by 10 pounds. But I ignore it. Because I do have one question. Given the performance, does that make you the, femme fatale? She doesn't move for a moment. Then I hear a giggle, and she suddenly bursts out laughing. The atmosphere lifts. Crown begins rubbing his temples. Kavir's nervous chuckling rumbles into me. Oh, honey, no. I just give a good show. The rabble doesn't deserve me. Like I said, Nilly's our on-call seductress. Do you have to say it like that? Would calling it oversexed himbo make you feel better? Yes. It rarely comes to that. Seduction is just a tool that we can leverage when it's useful. She gestures to me. So, will that be a problem? I look up at Kavir. He rubs his knuckles annoyingly against my scalp. Why are you asking me? I bat him away. Sweetie. She rests her chin against the back of a hand. We all know. My cheeks burn a little. Crown's just the one who had the biggest problem with it. Still do. I don't. You should. The kid's almost as bad as Nightlight. Jawboy gets around. A slow draw of smoke. Their tryst introduces complications. I'm still too flustered to sass him. No more than any other team. So he can bounce on Nightlight's lap for all I care. Why are we even talking about this? The Avatar turns to me. Just fuck him and not the job, okay? He glances back towards Crown. See? Done. Easy. I stare at the table. The toony Avatar stares back. What? Nightlight's hot. Good on you. Maybe don't encourage him. Maybe don't be a prudish killjoy. Could you keep sex professional whenever you were an idiot newbie? Kid's young and stupid. Are you trying to ruin me? Crown blows some smoke in my direction. Prove me wrong. Fine. Hey, you're the one who approved him. And him being stupid remains to be seen. She gently pats Crown's arm. Unless you have something else to report? Crown and I share a brief look. Nothing I haven't already said. And there's the lie. My stomach sinks. Nightlight? He rests his hand on my shoulder. Pats it. Don't worry, Matt. MP and I got things worked out. Another lie. It's not a problem. And another. To be honest, now that I know, I'm kinda looking forward to seeing him put the moves on some random corporal. I can taste the irony in my words, thick and viscous. I want to spit. Oh? So you can ask for an encore? Hell yeah! Crown rubs the bridge of his nose. So I can see if you're really just a two-trick tiger. That gets a laugh from everyone except Crown. And me. Boys. Everyone quiets down. The tip of Crown's J-Sig flares. Nightlight is excellent at what he does. You're the untested one. I hear him. So much has happened tonight. Maybe I'm not ready. So test me. He looks to Leah, and she nods. We will. This is a series of smaller jobs leading up to a larger score. We'll use one of them to see you what you're made of. We'll get into that tomorrow. For tonight's final order of business, let's talk about your cut. First, I want you to look around. What do you see? I look at Aeon and Kavir, who both gesture out towards the floor with wide, knowing eyes, some sort of initiation, and turn to follow their direction. There is a number of other booths like ours, some with light barriers dimmed to opaqueness, others with knitted out mercenaries and tech punks, likely making deals, taking jobs, sharing information. The usual. Typical jazz runner stuff, looks like. This is the Reign after all. She nods. Exactly. In Mother's Reign you'll see all kinds. Anti-corporal insurgents with the CSC, credit hounds, glory hunters. If you're simply here for any of that, I'll find you another group. What do you mean? We have a big score on our hands, NP, the kind of which attracts a certain flavor of mercenary that I find risky enough to be distasteful. So look again, harder this time. What do you see? Beyond the jazz runners? Well, there's the clubbers, chatting and dancing, a blurred mix of civilians, mercs, gangsters, and punks. I can't entirely tell which are which. There's a memorial to the dead jazz runners in the entrance hallway, the neon slogans on the walls, the calls for collective strength and grassroots power. The prayer to endure. I think back to the moment that we entered and the feeling that I couldn't place. Was it honesty, I wonder? Authenticity? Or realness? Everyone's trying to be something, I think. Even if it's not entirely possible, even if it's an illusion to make us feel better, we want to feel like we have some power even if we don't. So we come together in places like this to make things real, or at least feel like we are. The furnace. Maybe I'm starting to understand Dad a little better. She smiles at Kavir. You were right about him. Then to Crown. Not bad. Then back at me. Huh? Just an observation, baby. A small confirmation that there's some depth to you. You see, motivated professionalism is all well and good, but the problem with money is the company can always offer more. And the problem with glory is that it usually ends with your picture on the hallway wall. I need to know that my partners are in this for something that anchors them, that they have an understanding of struggle. She gestures broadly to the other three, motley and dysfunctional at a glance, but I know each of them to be veterans who would never have humored this if there wasn't something to it. We are each trying to create something for ourselves, something meaningful beyond just wealth or glory. I shoot a confused look at Kavir. Meaningful? Yes, even nightlight. What could she mean? He looks at the ground. What I'm saying is, it would be a shame if you showed our meaning disrespect. And I had to have your handle. Understood? I risk a glance at Crown. He nods. True. Another hard swallow. I do. Good, because this is your out. If money or glory is all that you're after, I can arrange that for you. It just won't be with us. And most of us have some issue with the CSC, so if you're involved with them, that won't do either. Boy, am I not. So I shake my head. None of that's why I'm here. It's more personal than that. Sublime. Then, it'll be a 5-way cut, minus the usual fixer fees. Any objections? Nope. Sounds good. I like him. Crown, sweetie? Kid's here, isn't he? I've said what I need to. She pushes herself up. Tomorrow morning, then? Here, 11 sharp. And NP, baby? Yeah? I do need to hear you say it. Who's your boss? You are, ma'am. And don't forget it, honey. She then places her hand on the table. To meaning, all in. Aeon extends a spectral hand. All in. Then Kavir's big mitt. All in. Crown puffs twice, then reaches out. All in. They all look at me. I take a deep breath. All in. Kavir has me against the wall the moment that his apartment door closes behind us. His muzzle opens against my lips, his hands pin mine to the siding's textured vinyl. I'm annoyed with him. We had argued on the ride over. I really don't care that you're on the Team Honeypot, or that you're hunting for some meaning that I've never heard about. Well then, you sure seem mad about something. I know you're not this blind. You're overthinking it. Am I? I shove my tongue against his and wrestle it for control. His tail wraps around my waist, pulling. The heat of his chest presses to mine. I can feel his rumble, that needy noise that he makes whenever he wants something. Whenever he's hungry for it. For me. That a good enough apology? His muzzle pulls away, and I'm left panting. I can feel his breath on my cheek. He begs me with those eyes, those bright eyes, to just let this be. Without complication. Without commitment. Why can't we just say what we are? You stupid ass tiger. Not even close. He kisses the bruise on my hand for the third time. Snow tiger kisses are known to heal, he had said, after I lied about a sparring mishap. He then pushes himself from me and the wall, releasing my hands. He grins, but I can tell that it's strained. Thick fingers tug at the bottom of his shirt, and with a wink, he pulls the whole of it up and over his head. It flutters down somewhere behind him. He's beautiful. That unique blue pattern over cool gray-white, that softness over strength. Most of his fur is trimmed short, so none of his body is left to the imagination. I know it well. Lately, I've been doing all the trimming, clipping and brushing his pelt, a sensual exercise of exploring every inch of him. He clasps his hands together, tensing his chest. Bouncing your pecs on me won't do it either. Then how about these? He flexes his arms. I imagine touching them, kissing them, pressing my face to them and filling my nose with his scent, always a little sweet and a little fresh, even without the mint. Maybe it's the antifreeze. Stop it. I push past him. Come on, Rav. You're tenting your pants. I keep my back turned to him as I grumble and adjust myself. You said that you had a gift for me? Well, yeah, me. I'm the gift. I glance over my shoulder. You're gonna have to do way better than that. His carnal confidence immediately drains. Yeah, look. I'm sorry Crown's made it all weird between us today. I wanted to make it up to you. He's being an ass, but you're the one that's making it weird. He sighs and steps forward. I'm just... Another step. I'm concerned, Rav. And another, now resting his hands on my shoulders. You've just been pushing so much. He squeezes. This isn't the time to be complicating things between us. I fold my arms, still not looking at him. I meant what I said earlier. You can't be worrying about me. I don't see how us being a couple makes a difference. I'd worry about you even if we weren't having sex. I know. But sex, it's a drug, Rav. It's powerful. Why do you think that we use it as a tool on the job? It clouds judgment. So, if you want to keep enjoying what we have, we've got to keep some emotional distance so our heads stay clear. You make it sound like I'm obsessed with you. Calm down. He bends over to rest his chin against my shoulder, his cheek fur tickling my skin. Aren't you? You're the one half naked. His hands slide down to my side, then to my front, gently gripping the meat of my hardness. All ready to go, and all I did was flex a little. I sigh and relax my arms to bat him away. But he grips my hands instead, squeezing gently. Ion didn't seem to have an issue with us. Maybe Crown's just overreacting. I like Ion, but he's never in the field. At a distance, you can be more objective. But in the moment, if something were to happen to me, what would be your first instinct? To think through the situation carefully or rush in to save me? That's not fair. It would depend. Maybe. But the more serious we are, the harder a decision will be. If that's the case, Why were you just pawing at my dick? Shouldn't we stop this? Do you want to stop this? He pulls me against his front, nuzzles against my neck, kisses my jaw. I don't answer him. It feels like you don't trust me. I wouldn't have recruited you if I didn't. But I know you, Grumplin. Your first instinct will always be to look out for me. And I've always admired that about you. All your home bullshit, and you're still always the first to call when I get back from expeditions to check on me. You're one of the most important people in my life. You know that, right? I can't wait to go on an adventure with you. Kavir. But this work, jazz running, it's dangerous. You have to weigh the needs of the job and the safety of the whole team against me equally. So, I'm just trying to make it easier for you. Keep your head clear. Because I know how much you want this. Right? Freedom? Freedom. The word tastes like ash. Him or freedom. I'm getting sick of this choice. Us being a couple isn't going to suddenly scramble my brain. I mean, my dick is pretty good. I get your dick plenty already. You know what I mean. No. I shake my head. I know you're making excuses. This isn't really about the team at all, is it? Because what you're doing, it's no different than Dad. You're trying to control my feelings. You're afraid. Rav. I just wish that I knew why. For a moment, we just breathe. I can feel his heartbeat against my back, quicker than it was. His tail curls around me, its yellow sash fluttering in the airflow from some unseen fan. I still don't know what it means. He releases one of my hands to play with the hem of my shirt, fingers sliding up the sensitive skin of my stomach. My breath catches, my erection aches. His teeth and tusks play gently against my neck. Only when his large hand has splayed across my chest, fingers teasing my nipples, teasing out a moan, does he finally bother to reply. He knows he's got me. You want to be in control then? Fangs against my skin. Take it out on me. Claws against my chest. You can top again. But always gentle. Really showed it to me last time. You know what I want. The hardness of him presses against the small of my back. I mean to sigh, but it's lewder than that. I can hear what you want. So come on, let's celebrate a little. You managed to not completely piss off Crown. That alone deserves a reward. I wouldn't go that far. He laughs. Fair enough. He is a messy guy. Speak for yourself. But I want tonight to be about you, Rav. Whatever you want. However you want me. I reach for my anger, feeling for some ammunition to keep the fight. Get him to admit that I'm more than just someone important. That I'm his. It's been a shitty day, Kavir. Can you just... But I'm so tired. Make me feel good? You got it, Grumplin. He quickly does away with my shirt, pulling it over my head. Then his lips are on my neck as he loosens the front of my pants. I'll always be here for you. He can't promise that, any more than Uriel could promise it. I shake off flashes of the blind one, the helplessness and hopelessness of being wholly consumed, that thing awful and unknowable that no mere promise could resist. But even though I know his promise is a lie, I feel his heat and fur surround me. His love, because I know that's what it must be, even if he won't say it. His strength. And as he thumbs down my briefs, takes my length into his hand, uses it along with his bulk to guide me to his bed. I feel safe. Because it's a beautiful lie. Beautiful like him. and I want to believe it. I know. You know you're the most handsome man in the city. First his chaps, and then his pants drop behind me. He presses firmly and wetly against my back. He is a good deal larger than I am, but not too large. Besides you mean. He turns me around and hoists me up, sizzling eyes staring into mine. Are pressed tightly together. No. He drops me on the bed. The sheer size of him looms over me. You're incredible. I love the way you look. The bed creaks as he kneels. Your body. He kisses me from toes to inner thigh. Your dick. He licks me from to tip. Every little part of you. The very tips of his claws trace up my stomach. That makes you moan. He seals his muzzle around a nipple, his tongue sliding around it. And I do moan. Kavir. I feel his pulse against my leg, rivulets of his need dribbling down onto the bare sheets. His lips brush against my skin. The smell of you. His breaths at my neck. Then lifts up my arms to arrest my hands. All of you. I feel his cool nose trace across my shoulder and under my arm. There's nothing else like it. His fingers find my unabused nipple and I close my eyes with a short gasp. When I open them, his face hovers an inch above mine, finger on my chin. Your voice. You want to feel me, Rav? Say it. I want you to fuck me. His whole body shivers and rumbles with desire. And then he's on me, crushing me into the bed with the fullness of his considerable weight. Oxygen escapes me, and he breathes all of it in as he attacks my lips. Our smear and throb crush between our stomachs. His tongue, rough and broad, neatly wraps around mine. Then right as I feel my head begin to swim, that my heart might burst, he pulls away, trailing 2 fingers down my jaw. He licks his muzzle, and then pushes himself up to retrieve the sanitizing wand from a drawer in his bedside table. Roll over. With a grunt I do, exposing my to him. He kisses the base of my spine. I glance over my shoulder. The wand flashes purple and hisses briefly as it's self-sterilizing. I shiver as he swirls it teasingly around my hole. It relaxes me with warm vibrations, but I'm distracted as he tugs on my and licks over my with the intensity of worship. Between groans, I'm only dimly aware of him pushing the wand inward. There is an odd heat and tremor as the thing cleans me out, atomizing waste and sucking up the vapor, and then replacing it with slick, cool lubricant. Okay? It only takes a minute or so, a chime, and then he slowly pulls it out. Another flash of purple and Kavir pauses in the abuse of my package to first kiss my prepped hole and then set the wand aside. I fall to my side and settle onto my back to watch him move. What are you looking at? Not you. Oh yeah? He crawls forward a little, grinning with all of his teeth, resting his plump, fat ass right on my crotch. He grinds down. I gasp. His tail slides up and two to tease across my chest. I gasp again. Ignore this then. He flexes both of his arms, one up and the other in front of his chest, dangerously close to my face. I lean up to give it the kiss that I didn't before, right on top of his bicep. Wanna make up for all the flattery that you didn't give me earlier? You lost. You cheated. I rub my cheek against the tense muscle, my fingers sliding over the definition and sharp contours, tracing veins beneath the fur. My crotch aches. You are beautiful. I gently push his arm aside and press my face against his stomach, kissing across his tensed abdominals through his pubic fur and breathing him in. His pulsing heat rubs against my cheek and I stroke him delicately. Then I take him into my mouth. He groans and rumbles, sliding thick fingers into my hair, making a mess of it as I pleasure him with my tongue. I begin to take him deeper, but he pushes me away after a few moments. Presses a finger to my wet lips. This is about you. He carefully pushes himself back, releasing my crushed shaft, and I groan and twitch at the sudden coolness. He lifts my legs over his shoulder and begins to lean forward. I feel the crown of his kiss my slipped. He leans down, thick arms caging me in, our faces getting closer as he begins to press forward. As his muzzle finds my lips, I close my eyes. The kiss is gentler this time, and I expect it to be slow and unhurried. But then he pulls away. When I look to see why, his face fills my vision. Ravi, I brace myself against my elbows and lean up so our faces almost touch. What? He balances himself on one hand so the other can cup my cheek. He presses his forehead to mine. His bright eyes close. Tig? He takes a breath. I want to try a different position. He falls to the side and the bed trembles. Our legs tangle. He slides his arm around me and holds me close. His tail drapes across my hip. I rub his yellow sash between my fingers. It's soft like a worn blanket, soft, old and full of memory. For a moment he presses his head to the back of mine, takes another breath, and then he's all smiles. Because I completely forgot. I figured out how to leverage this angle to hit your spot just right. Ready? Yeah. He kisses my neck, lifts my leg, and then drives home. I gasp at the sudden fullness. It's not painful. The sanitizing wand makes sure of that, though I'm taken by how rushed it feels. But he doesn't lie. Again and again he slams right against my... Slides deep, then shallow. His fingers find my nipples. His fangs graze across my neck. He rumbles against me just the way that he knows I like. Hungry, possessive. His. I reach one hand back to tangle in and fuck up his hair. Mine. The other grips the bed sheets. We never touch my... We don't have to. It spasms dangerously. I gasp and moan. Kavir! His thrusts are relentless. Desperate. Every part of him wraps around me. Then he snarls and bites my shoulder. He's never done that before. Pain and stars. I erupt everywhere. And he erupts in me. Maybe it's the clarity of the afterglow, the dilation of eternity in this moment, and the connection between us. Because this time, there's no stopping it. I love you. And it's the worst thing that I could have said. He presses his forehead against my back. I feel him sigh. We need to take a break. To be continued. So probably you guys are not going to be able to see all of that. So like a good, maybe most of what I guess would be scene 6 is not available to you because it is mostly them getting it on. However, something that I should point out is that, like, yeah, they do get it on, and depending on from where I have to, like, cut it, as you can see, they were fighting, and what they're fighting about is the fact that, Kavir won't acknowledge what him and Ravi are, which is, they're boyfriends. They're together, they're a couple. And that rubs Ravi the wrong way. Because, I mean, why won't you acknowledge it? Why won't you say, like, yeah, me and him, we're something? But Kavir does have a point, because the things that they're aiming to do are dangerous. Like, I don't, again, depending on where you get cut off. He says, if something happens to me, are you just gonna drop everything and then, go help me, go save me or whatever? Or are you gonna just keep on task and then help the rest of the team? And like, he has a point. If something were to happen to him, how is Ravi gonna react? And considering how he has been for chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's kind of safe to say that he probably would not go like, oh no, the team first, and then we'll save Kavir if we can or whatever. Like, no, he's gonna like drop everything and then go like, no, I'm going to for Kavir. And Crown knows that. And Kavir knows that. And like, that would be dangerous. That would be dangerous for Ravi, and that would be dangerous for the team. And maybe even dangerous for Kavir, because, maybe he has it under control. Maybe he's not as helpless as, we would think in that situation or something, But like, yeah. Because of how Ravi has been reacting, it unfortunately makes this very dangerous. And we know, okay, like, yeah, he could acknowledge it, but like, and I'm talking about Kavir, he could acknowledge the fact that they are something, a couple at least. But like, I guess maybe saying it would make it a little too true for the both of them. And that would mean if something bad happens, then it's gonna mess up everything. Not only that, but like, maybe like, what happens if something happens to Ravi? I mean, we could probably guess that if something were to happen to Ravi, of course, Kavir is gonna want to, like, step in and, help him. And that may be another part of the reason why Kavir doesn't want to make it official. That he just wants it to be like this sort of casual thing, even though, like, at this point it's no longer a casual thing. But like, they were already in too deep, so like, you might as well jump into the even deeper end. Take off the floaties, Kavir. But like, yeah, you could see where he's coming from. You could see where Crown is coming from too, because what they're doing is probably too important for them to just let it break apart, because these two got together. Another thing that stood out to me is the conversation that they were having with oh crap, I forgot her name. The girl, the boss, where she kind of made it almost like a point for Ravi to understand Kavir is not only the muscle, he is also the guy that we more or less use in order to, bring, like, to trick people, with, sex. And I'm wondering if perhaps all this was planned. Meaning, Kavir sort of wrangled Ravi, knowing that Ravi liked him. And that maybe the reason why Kavir is so against him, saying like, yeah, we're a couple, is because he knows that the pretense by which they got together was just to get Ravi. That he used his innate sexual magnetism in order to get Ravi. I mean, it might be possible also that, like, now, again, he's in too deep, and it's like, oh, crap, I like this, this guy. Oh no. So, like, yeah, that kind of stood out to me, especially with, Crown kind of telling Ravi, like, pay attention to this conversation because it specifically is related to you. So, like, I'm wondering. I have these, I wouldn't call it the doubts, but I do have these concerns. If this whole relationship started because Kavir was used in order to bring Ravy because they knew that he was special. They didn't know how special he was, but they knew that there was something up with Ravy. Something interesting. There is another thing, I think, where there might have been, I don't know if I'm misremembering, but there might have been another instance where Kavir was also a little bit skittish about him and Ravy being a thing. And like, even when I think when he brought him to the bar in order to talk to his dad and then, to talk to Crown at the very beginning of the visual novel, it seemed more like, okay, go in there and do your thing, and then, we'll go from there. It wasn't sort of like, I don't know, it felt like he was making him do this in order to get this over with. I mean, he wasn't being pushy. He wasn't like telling him like, oh no, I need you need to do this. But again, he might have fallen for Ravy, and that's why he wasn't like that. I don't know. I guess we'll see as the story progresses. But yeah. Ravy said the L word, and Kavir did not like that. I wonder what would have happened if he had said, he had been able to say I love you at the bar. What was it? Something Rain? I forgot what it's called. But yeah. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play String Zero yourself, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which I have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download the game and play it yourself. Or you can subscribe to their Patreon, and I think that's the Subscribe Star logo. So, do they have a Subscribe Star now? I think this little S thing that's next to the Patreon logo and next to the Twitter logo is Subscribe Star logo, I think. So, there's 2 ways to subscribe to them and support the project and get early builds of String Zero and whatnot. But yeah. Anywho, if you would like to support the channel and become a channel member and get earlier access to these videos as they're being scheduled, then, there's the other link. There should be a built-in link for YouTube already, but if you don't see it, then either it's down in the description, or it's not available in your country. But you can support through Ko-fi. It doesn't get you early access, but I do appreciate it. Also thrown, if you're feeling overly generous. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.